Hello everybody, Doug here from 2 Plus Stuff, and today we are just chilling, hanging out, having kind of a lazy snow day on my end. If you've been following along, I've been doing a bunch of painting for Fallout Wasteland Warfare stuff, just getting a lot of terrain ready, not just for that game, but for all the miniature agnostic games that I want to start covering here on the channel with like battle reports, just stuff that I want, frankly, more eyeballs on. How about that? To that end, I have a whole bunch of my little cargo container things that I did before. I made I made an additional 5 really long ones. My wife and I took some great test shots that I've posted on Instagram and my Discord, and we found that we needed more terrain just to kind of fill in the back to eat up some of the dead space in the background of photos, so that's why these exist. And then these little dudes here, I'll grab these 2 mailboxes. Wasteland Warfare uses a lot of what are called like investigation markers. It's just stuff around the map that either has items, quest things, whatever. You just need containers basically that kind of stand out. And so I had some of these little pre-done bases from Gamer's Grass. So I just slapped some terrain on them. Or yeah, these are terrain bits from a Terrain Crate Studios gate. They have these little like electric boxes all over it, which they gave me 4, and it's like there's not even that much gate to cover, but all right. Anyway, so they did that, and then I'm just going to be doing some washes, kind of building up the color to make them pop a little bit more. And bouncing around. I'm kind of in a weird hobby place. I don't know. Tell me what you guys are working on. But, let's see. How are you doing today? I'm doing good. This is going to be a very strange stream experience. Well, buckle up. Can't stay. Oh, thank you so much, buddy. Thank you. Tell your children they're a delight, but tell it in a slightly threatening way. Just, you are a delight. Just to make them go, oh, I like that. I'm working on ogres. Nice. See, I just want to pick out a few key spots here. Really just grabbing the high corners here. Okay. Nice. Okay. So I'm just going to put my nice little warm yellow rim on them. But if you have a topic that you would like to discuss, what is it? Old World's out. If anybody wants to chat about that, I'm happy to. I straight up said to them, like, hey, you can just send me a PDF of the book. I don't really have a whole lot of interest in the game itself. And then the holidays happened. I didn't get around to recording, and honestly, I'm not terribly enthusiastic. Like I said before, I have no nostalgia towards it. But I have said multiple times, if you are happy, I am deeply happy for you. In the most sincere way possible. A lot of people were really excited, and I hope they got what they wanted. You said you're in a strange space hobby-wise. How so? Oh, I'm kind of in between projects. Like, I want to be painting for model agnostic games, but I feel like I should be doing more Age of Sigmar stuff, which is just kind of always a looming feeling. If there's ever periods, kind of like we're in right now, where there's just not a ton of AOS content, it's generally because I feel like a little burnt out on it, and I'm just like, Rah. Partially because Games Workshop is very good. Put this in the form of a compliment. Their marketing team is crack because, crack jobs because they command so much of the space. They're doing a crack job. That's the expression I was trying to use. Good job, Doug. They're not on crack. They do a wonderful job because it just kind of like suffocates the space, and so when I get stuff early and I'm reading about things that I can't talk about, and then things that do release that I'm allowed to talk about release, but they're not the things that I'm excited about, it just kind of gets you in a weird, like, well, I feel like I can't be excited about anything. Matt. I need to paint 110 Solar Auxilia Riflemen for Adepticon. That right there is what I call a fun weekend. Okay, so these look good. These are mostly done. I have to wait for these bases. I did some brush on primer from Army Painter, because they are Necromunda bases, but I wanted some other cool designs if I'm going to do some fancy bases on some. All this terrain, by the way, let me grab a whole fistful. This stuff right here all comes from a thing by Mantic Games called Terrain Crate, like their series. It's like a convenience store or a city or something. And I am in love with it. Not because these are really all that high quality, but because they're stuff and they're fillers. So like when these little tarp things dry, I'm going to put like a box here and kind of like work them into the world. So I like it for additional. It's like a terrain enhancer. But that stuff's dry. Now, I signed up to participate in a very special event at Adepticon. Let me pull up my reference sheet for it because I will have forgotten. So yes, I feel like I'm very much between projects, and I don't know. Okay. Yes. Okay, so if we come to the shared screen. Oh, you're looking at the wrong one. I am doing the Space Station Zero game. So if you don't know, Space Station Zero is a thing that's put out by Vince Ventrella and Uncle Adam from... Oh my god, why am I blanking on his channel's name? Anyway, so two of the greatest content creators that you wouldn't know because Doug's B-tier fame can't remember any of the names of their channels. Tabletop Minions. There we go. There we go. Explore the depths of hidden Space Station Zero. Players should bring miniatures for a crew, which I have plenty of stuff. 12 enemy figures, 6 technological, and 6 biological. Okay. 6 technological, 6 biological. So the reason I got... Oh, God. There we go. I went to a rummage sale, like a hobby rummage sale that a local game store does, and they had these big crates of models that were just like... Nobody wanted them. So these are mutants. I think they're from... an old Mantic game, maybe Dead Zone or something. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, we'll grab 2 sprues of these boys. That's easily our organic side of things. And what are you? Let's see. We got some. Oh, there's some terrain bits in here. We could build that. Apologies. I'm sure that sounds awesome. I think we can have fun with that. Let's see. Hey. I'm not super into the old world. One thing was making new Dark Elf sculpts. Well, I think part of what keeps me at limited interest is it doesn't look like they themselves have a lot of long-term interest. Like I said, it exists now, and if that's what you want, I'm just not tied into it enough to like go actively likely find games for it outside of like a con experience. And if that's all I wanted, I already have Horus Heresy for that, you know. As far as like games that I can, epic games that I would save up all year to go play, you know, a super thing at, that would be Adepticon Horus Heresy. 100% feel that. I get AOS news has been pretty slow so far, but I've tried to see a lull in new releases as more time to paint my backlog. Yeah, my problem is like, well, I got a lot of problems, but one of the big ones is I don't prioritize actually playing games very well. And yeah, I say that knowing that playing games does motivate me to paint models, so it is important. It's just... not always important in the moment, I guess. Happy Friday, Sirkin. Oh yeah, we got some great looking mutant bodies here. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 2+ love, Lord videos. Oh, thank you so much. That's very kind of you. I very much appreciate it. Oh, something I can share that I'm very excited that's coming up. I just get tired of trying to keep up with like the GW like release schedule of like having content ready on time, because they're frequently moving things around on us, as Vince can attest to as well. But the reason I bring this up is because I am very excited that the guys over at Cubicle 7, who make the role-playing game Soulbound, which is the role-playing game for AOS, reached out to me and were like, hey, we want to start like, you know, supporting content creators again, and they sent me a copy of Ulfenkarn, which is, I haven't quite gotten the physical one yet, but it is on the way. And that is when you're in the vampire-laced city. And so I am like super stoked. I'm like, oh yes. Yes, I want to talk about this thing. Very much so. Yeah, I got no nostalgia for the old world, but I thought GW could get me interested. Yeah. Agreed, that guy, you know. Yes, finishing my Beck Army box now. Awesome. Here's to hoping the rest of the range drops soon. Oh, dang near is. Okay. Question: what are the chances of Grand Cafe making it into AOS? I assume that that is an old world thing, to which I would probably say the answer is 0, unless you model it yourself. They seem pretty stoked to keep the world separated. That being said, I don't actually know anything about Grand Cathay if it's an old world thing, so that's just my general take on old world stuff, not necessarily them as a faction. If we didn't keep Bretonia that already had models in Tomb Kings, I find it hard to think they're going to, They have Wolfenkarn out? Nice, been waiting. I don't actually know if it's out yet. They didn't tell me there was any NDA, so how about that? I didn't sign anything. They just told me it's getting worked on and they wanted me to cover it, so I was like, oh my gosh, yes, I would absolutely love that. She's got something on her back, I assume a rifle. We'll find out. Hey, look, have you seen the big Conquest reveals? No, actually, we could pull those up together because I wanted to. I was out shopping. We, in my neck of the woods, have just been hit by a rather nasty snowstorm, and so we've been kind of barricading ourselves. Let's go check it out. Let's see. Give me just a moment here. Sometimes they send me a nice little catalog thing I can look at. No, I can't seem to find it in my email. If someone can tell me where to find it, I will go look it up, but I can't seem to right now. That's the Conquest reveals from yesterday is what we're talking about. Dropping stuff. Two. Okay, now I gotta come up with 6 mechanical. Now I'm looking around my office for, it's a miniatures agnostic game, so they don't have to match or anything. I got some B1 battle droids from Star Wars Legion. I don't know how highly I rate them as models, but they're cool, they work. So I have something in a pinch, I don't have to paint anything. Let's see. I'd love to get them all standing up so I can see how they are posed before I attach the arms and the head. Hello, hello. Yeah, most of the pics saved. I couldn't send them to you through disk. Yeah, sure. Send them over if you got them. Throw them in the Conquest chat if you wouldn't mind. I got better idea. Plastic glue for its strength. Ugh. Just keep dropping stuff today, and I don't know what is up with me. Okay. Ugh. I like him. Also, if anyone knows what models these are from, I'd love to know. I'm trying to find something you can lean on, but I don't know much about Conquest, but I see it everywhere. Are people enjoying it? Yeah, it essentially is, the way that I like to describe it is it's a full-scale war game that plays like a skirmish game. So you, basically, in terms of the numbers of units you'll have to activate, they're pretty similar. And there's a lot of, like, nuance to it. It's very accessible though, so that's great. I got a bunch of stuff here. If you're curious, I can go into more detail. It's one of those things that, like, I don't want to bore the crap out of you, talk your ear off if it's only of passing interest, but it does have, like, the company behind it, Parabellum, is terrific. And they're trying to get like a tournament thing circuit going, which I'm all in favor for, even though it's not my kind of gaming. You know, but I want it to exist for the people who it is. Boot up the old Discord here and see what we got. So, I'm going to use these mutant cultist dudes as my 6 biological threats that I have, and then I need to come up with a couple mechanical. For some reason, man, YouTube and Discord are just struggling today. Hey, thank you so much, Elect Man, for giving us this. Let's check out what Parabellum put out while I'm waiting for my glue to dry here. Product catalog, January through May, Q1. This is the Spire's Abomination. Now, they already have an Abomination model. It's the current one that came with the starter set forever ago. This is better in every single way. And the other one, it's cool. It just has, like, a big emphasis on arms. This looks much more insectoid and like a corrupt nature thing rather than like a statue obelisk, which is how I would describe the other one. Like, it looks very Slaneshian, that it looks like a perfect statue. This looks like a living organism and also an affront to God. And I love it. City-States Champion Cavalry. Outlier in their city-states forces, mainly because they do not, in the strictest sense of the word, belong to citizen soldiery. Okay. Interesting. Oh, companion cavalry, not champion. Okay. And then there is the Ipikos Barcos. Okay, very cool. I like their cavalry options. Very, very cool looking. Again, the city-states comes in hot with, like, man, if you had any love for a Greek aesthetic in your wargaming, there's nothing else like them, I think, on the market. Barring, like, you know, old school pewter historical specific figs. Nobody makes fun like, you know, crazy poses for those kinds of things like these guys do. 100 Kingdoms, Order of the Sealed Temple. Now, I will be honest with you, even though I have done lore videos on the 100 Kingdoms, the split of the temple and the various orders that they have is still something that seems very thin to me. Like I want them to expand that a bit more, maybe give me like a short story about basically the way that they came apart. It was one company that came apart in different ways because they started to disagree about how the remnants of the old Dominion, or Dominion back when it was healthy, should go. I don't know, I just want more. The Sorcerer Kings. Now, this is the newest faction that was voted on by the fans of their community. So every year or two, I think it is, they'll do basically a giant poll. And so the Sorcerer Kings, kind of the ideas that we were given is these are, would you guess it, sorcerers, but basically magic wielders who use like elementals. Jinn has a lot of like Eastern themes. Well, depends on what section of the world you're from, but a lot of fantastic themes and just, I don't know, it looks gorgeous. For some reason, I think the weakest model that they previewed was like the actual preview miniature of like the Jinn around the girl's shoulder, because everything here is just like absolute fire. I love this. Oh, they're coming out. Oh, okay. Okay, so this is the generic sorcerer. This is the limited edition preview one. Okay. I was like, these look awfully similar. Zadar, Maharaja, Raj. These are awesome. Sorcerer Kings. Ooh, Gulls? Oh, wait, are these like golems? Contaminate the elemental domains as much as they do the divine. Ghouls were amongst the first creatures they encountered among the shallows of the domain of fire. Spawned by mankind's greed, pride, and aggression, their simple minds and base impulses have made them easy to dominate. Interesting. I would like to know more. And I can tell you right off the bat, that is definitely not going to be a multi-kit with the Raja Kur, which is going to be their stronger infantry, and those look more human. Yeah, I don't see any obvious deformities. Interesting. Okay, so we'll move on. We have here our sword dancers and flame casters, which they do look like they would be a multi-kit. But this is the kind of, like, I didn't like the Jinn on the preview model's back or shoulder, but I do like these. This guy here in the middle and the guy on the right who looks like he's coming at you, about to windmill slam a fireball into your lap. That guy's awesome. I want this guy. Oh man, they are cool. I love the helmets on them. Helmets, I mean headgear. They're not really helmets in the typical sense, but honestly the one I'm least plussed about is the one that has a fire serpent coming out of it, even though it's super metal. Right, it's the ponytail that bites back, but yeah, okay. The Steel Heart Jinn and the Windborn Jinn. So now we're looking to female aspects of our elementals. And these are just beautiful, guys. I don't know how well this shows up on like the actual screen that you're looking at here, but look at the detail with all the lacing and the ornate jewelry going down the sides. It's just gorgeous. And remember that these models are bigger than GW ones. I actually think I have one in reach. Otherwise, I'd grab it. But basically, their dwarves stand almost as tall as a Stormcast Liberator. For perspective. And the Steelheart ones, you know, I like these a lot. I wish the arms were slightly different, so at least one of them had the like the weapon haft going the opposite direction, because they all have the same silhouette. Like if you look at the bow ladies, we got a bow to the left, we got a bow to the right, we got a bow down the center as she's reloading. This is just like parry, parry, awkward one-handed parry. So I think it's interesting. You can say turban. I forgot the word. It was blanking on me. All I could think was helmet, and I'm like, it's not a helmet, because it's not gonna stop a bullet with the same gusto. But you're correct, turban is the word I was looking for. Let's see. Yo, what's happening? Oh, we're just checking out some of the models that were previewed. Instead of making us wait until every convention to dribble out 2 or 3 new model kits with news, Parabellum does like quarterly big showcases of like, here's what's coming. Get excited. Brace your wallets and your galoins. And this is what we're looking at here. So these are their, I assume they're giants, right? Base size 30 by 30. Yep. So this would be a bigger dude. Monster base stand. Okay. Now it's clearly a multi-kit. I think that's fairly reasonable to say. We have the Rakshasa Ravenar. I'm learning how to pronounce these as I go. Rakshasa Ravenar and the Rakshasa Bakasura. Okay. Between the two, boss on the left with the beard and also the helmet that is quite possibly the most cool helmet that's ever been made in a war game. So you got a gem in the center. This does straddle the line between helmet and turban, because if you look really deep, you can see the line striations going up and down as if it were like fabric being rolled. But also it's like bedecked in so many hard metals and jewels that it might as well be a helmet. He's kind of the exception to the thing that tripped me up before. We put a big brass plate behind him, give him horns. This guy is sweet. Let's see. With the corruption of the elemental domains was eventually understood, the existence of the Ashura has never been explained. Violent, malicious, and powerful. I'm going to look, hoping to see a lot more lore for them in the future. Okay, so that's it for the Tomb Kings for right now, but incredibly cool looking. Shoot dang. City-states. Weird that they didn't put these up by the other city-state stuff. I love it. Chariots are awesome. Wait, is this the first chariot? Hold up. That's new. So it's only 2 bases wide, and it comes with, okay, 2 cavalry bases. That's the brute base. That makes sense. So before I get into my thoughts on the model, I am just going to say, I think that is the coolest idea ever, and I desperately want my Wadroon to have a chariot. I don't know why this is just now hitting me. I mean, you have a flank that is, massive, but I like that a lot, actually. Let's go on to the actual models themselves. The lions look great. No notes there. The chariots, I'm not the biggest fan of the mouth look. Like, look at the chariot itself. Like, the mount that holds the lions are coming out of the mouth. I kind of really want someone to put a giant Mario mustache on it. Just cause. No particular reason. Not that I think it would improve the model. I just think that would be awesome. There's a whole lot of stories you can tell with facial hair. A lot of them aren't good. Let's see. We have the Scorpios, which is shooting off, looks like bolts. That's pretty sweet. And then there's the, oh god, the Flabaglobalobin. The Flogobolon. Oh man, that sounds like it was named by the Rick and Morty guys. The Booblegasser. Also, the reason the chariot wasn't listed in the earlier city-states models was because the champion cav are way sooner. Oh, so they're thinking more chronological. I'm just thinking like, hey, Tomb Kings, or not Tomb Kings. That's awesome. Hey, city-states, in the next, between now and March, here's all the stuff you're getting. So I would have organized them by army, but I understand. Also, I really want someone... Oh, man, there's just so many things you can do here. I want the face to be resculpted so that it's smiling, so then it looks like a happy chariot just doing like the blah, but like there's literally lions tied to its tongue. Okay, here we go. Spires. The Leonine Avatara. Very cool. If you don't know what this is, basically think of it as where the abomination at the front is a giant monster that loves to just rush up and like punch things in the face and tear them apart. This guy is much more of a think of it as, what's the name of it? Broadside from Tau. Like it's a heavy thing, but it's got a big gun, and that's what you take it for. It's not meant to get up there and get into combat. It's a big thing because it needs to be a big thing to carry a big gun. And then there's these guys, which this is a live react, and I have to say, these models make me want to do Spire all over again. Sorry, Robbie, if you're listening. These are incredible. Desolation drones. I've seen them in the rules because the rules for a lot of things exist that we don't have models for until now. And these guys, the Spires build creatures and warriors to go do specific tasks. And so this is them. I need someone to just go like a plague of locusts, which is exactly what they look like. Just go take everything out. I'm like, oh yeah, love it. Love it. Okay, and then they're just letting us know what the rest of they got. Oh, actually, I can tell you, I have this map on my wall. They sent me an early one. It's freaking awesome, for the record. Okay, I'm gonna go on a little bit of a rant here. Apologies, the light's so bright. It's snow day. Everything's white outside. I was sent 2 maps in the same week, unrelated. One of them is right here. It's the Conquest map. It is a fantastic, nice linen thing, high quality print. And the other, which I can't show you because my camera's locked right there, is a map of the old world. The one that they just put up for pre-order for fantasy battles, whatever. This thing is way higher quality, by the way. I'm just going to throw that out there. The old world map is paper and not my favorite quality of paper. It's a poster. It's a poster you would get like at your local comic book store for Deadpool or something like that, whereas this feels like a nice thing that you can either use to cover a play space, you could stretch it over something and make a pillow, honestly, if you wanted to. It's like that kind of linen, whatever. Okay. I just wanted to rant because I was sent to, I was like, for a man who went from having no maps to a cornucopia of maps, I can tell you the Parabellum map is the better map. And it's like, who asked? Nobody. I didn't ask for maps, and I got 2, so now you know. One thing I want to point out here is that they have these kits that go out for the various seasons that they play, and these are just like rewards for stuff. You know, if someone hosts an event, hey, come check this thing out, we'll get you hooked up with a few, like, you know, door prizes, that kind of stuff. Just fun things. But if you look over here, if you're hosting a tournament, they have the wooden spoon, which I just think is the world's greatest thing ever. So they'll supply you with an official Conquest wooden spoon. That's fun. And it looks like we got some new starter sets on the way. And what's great about Conquest when it comes to the man with the maps, most maps, is truly blessed. Yes. Lineage Highborn type character that would be able to lead Leonine Avatara and shoot the same profile. Cool. Right on. Thank you. I appreciate it. Interested. So the reason I like Conquest for starter boxes is, if you don't know, you basically like choose your hero, and that hero has access to certain units. And you can have multiple heroes. That's called like a war group or a war band. And you can have multiple war bands. You just pick one of them to be your general. But what that means is, as an access point, if you see a model that you're like, that guy looks dope. Okay, like for example, let's see. Oh yeah, here's our dwarves. There's a whole bunch of great looking stuff there. That's when a new ironclad Drake, whatever. Let's say like I want to play that. Okay, well there are only certain leaders that can access that. There are other abilities and stuff like that that can kind of sometimes give you access to units you can't normally. Putting that to the side for now, if somebody walks into a game store and they see this box, everything you need to start playing that thing is there. And I like that. You know, it's like, we're going to ease the burden of army construction off your shoulders and just give you what you need to play the game. Find the thing you like and we'll do it. And I was like, oh, I love that, because for each hero or each monster type or unit type, whether it's in this case the wolves or the ignored guy, Drake, cavalry. Like, you can create very unique and always different on ramps to get people in there, and that's just awesome. Speaking of this screen, I'm gonna hang out here. I need to bust out my Wadroon. You know, it's been almost a year since I have touched my Wadroon. I took my Dweg home, my dwarves for Parabellum, over to Adepticon last year, and I had talked a little bit about that event. You go to the downward cam here, we'll get back to building and flipping out arms and junk. And it wasn't my fave, but I do plan to bring my army just to do pickup games and hang out with folks playing Conquest, because I do enjoy the game quite a bit. You know, I mean, my sum up was basically they just had a learning curve, and I'm sure that they'll do better this year, but I got excited about some other events that I really wanted to do. So I won't be there, but that's alright. Oh, okay, I see. Flip each arm out. I haven't touched my spire since like May. Yeah, no, I don't know. I feel like there's always a deluge of new releases by GW, which is how they like it. But gets to be a lot to keep up on. But also, I did move from, like, if I want to get a game of Conquest in now, I have to build the group, which is fine. Super not opposed to it. Also, that's a massive commitment, and I take it very seriously. So, like, I don't know. We've already got a large a Song of Ice and Fire group here, which seems to, in terms of competition to Conquest, I think is probably closer. One more set. Here we go. We should go get some of the rats, if I recall. Kings of War had some interesting sculpts. Oh, the Kings of War, tiny rat dudes. Yeah, is that for this game, Dead Zone? I assume that's what this game is. I don't actually know. I had asked before if anyone did. Sweet. Good luck, man. Here you go, Doug. Hope the weather improves. Thank you so much, buddy. I really do appreciate it. Corey Bragg, the whole if there are any players around you, then you build the community is such a toxic concept in my mind. Like, yes, some people can do it and have the skill set, but it's tough. You know, Corey, I absolutely agree. One of the things that I often talk about amongst my friends and people who are trying to understand what I do is there's the idea that like everyone can do everything, and it's like, well, yes, they can in a sense, but also like you don't want to lose track of the fact that like community building, just like teaching, is not just a skill. I'm sorry, it's not just a job or an activity, but it is a skill. Like there are people who are better at it than others. Like I can't teach you. I can teach people how to make lore videos, but I can't tell you how to be entertaining. You know what I mean? Like that's just beyond me. It comes in your soul. I don't know what else to say. But the same thing with community. It takes a very special person with a commitment attitude to go out and build a community, and I deeply respect people who do it. And I acknowledge it for the work that it is. Man, I'm listening over here like to Vince Ventrella talk about his D&D group, and it gives me stress hives, man. And he's just like, oh yeah, I'm there every week, hell or high water. You made a commitment to me to play D&D. I'm like, I just want to stay at home and have Funyuns. Like I've never played D&D with Vince, but that's how I imagine his conversations going. We were chatting in one of our pre-Warhammer Weekly sessions. He was saying that he's very regular with his games, like crazy so. Holidays and weather have put a damper on the group. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I could see that. About I find myself in for Kill Team and Warcry. There are plenty of people around me who play both AOS and 40k. Yeah, I mean, I've been in a similar boat too, where it's I really wanted to play Fallout, Wasteland Warfare, and I finally found a dude to play with, and we're both so excited to game, and then the storm happened last night, and I was like, I should probably bow out. It seems smart, but what a way to go. Now I just need to grab my 5 favorite mutant heads. Let's see. Oh, some of these have really cool helmets. Sorry, I know it's a little off camera, but I need to be able to see. So Doug, I have a request. I'd like some more feedback on the skin of my Karak Acolytes. Yes, give me just a sec here. I hope you understand by this point that Doug does not claim to be a painting tutorial guru. I have, let's see, Discord pulled up, throw them in the hobby section. Also, this is a hard truth. We're all nerds. Most of us aren't exactly stacked in the charisma scale. I tell people that when the channel was growing initially, people were like, "Oh, here's the lore guy, whatever. Hey, it's Doug, lore master." And I would tell folks that, like, you know, I don't necessarily call myself that. I like to think that I put my points into charisma, but at the cost of intelligence, because I don't remember any of the stuff that I talk about. Like, I will rewatch my own lore videos because I forget. It falls immediately out of my head. But I like to chat, you know? Storyteller guy. Yeah, that's it. And there is one head on here that I think is so supremely ugly and stupid, I refuse to put it on a miniature, so let's go to the other sprue. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and my 6th guy already has a head, so we should be good to go. Ethan Law, I feel like you give a realistic perspective on the hobby, and I appreciate that about you. Aw, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. I don't feel like I have a magic perspective. It just, I don't know. I just don't like internet rage. How about that? I think it's very easy to forget the point of all of this, which is simply be a huge freaking nerd. And I find one of the greatest barriers to hobby enjoyment is just comes about from language. By that, what I mean is the better you get at communicating what kind of game experience you want, the more good games you'll have. Because it's such a collaborative thing that we like to lean on stuff like points and whatever to make our games balanced for us. But the truth is, you just talk to the person like a person, tell them what you want, what you're here for. Most people are pretty cool. But it's hard to articulate that rules-wise, is what I'm saying. Let's see, Elec Man. Nope, still waiting for the picks. Hey, there's some. Dude, it looks awesome. Trying to find a good, there we go. You did great. Not sure I'm going to read your essay, but I will later. But the skin tones look great, dude. You're killing it. Too light with the wash on this one? No, I can see all the muscles defined. Blah, that's the word. Put the ugly head on a cam? Yeah. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. It is this one here. It kind of vaguely looks like a woman's face, but the cheek structure is like the butt-faced aliens from They Live. And then she kind of has like one mishappen eye on the right, or left of the screen, but her right eye. And it's just, I don't know. It's not showing up too well here on the camera, but it is ugly as sin. Cool. 1, 2. For you, let's give you. He's kind of in combat armor. We'll give him the combat helm. $40K is just messy right now. 30K is imperfectly perfect. My thing with 30K is it is imperfect. It has a lot of things that I feel like could be addressed or whatever, but I think a lot of it works because, quite frankly, they don't mess around with it a ton. It's pretty self-sufficient as a game system. And I just feel like the rate of releases will always beget the problems that GW has. And that goes for AOS, that goes for 40K. It's got a helmet, so it's also a little heavy. Sweet. Heck yeah, okay. I got my 6 biological dangers done. This is for, of course, Space Station Zero. With hopefully had to pay money for it to get some face-to-face time with Vince Ventrella and Uncle Adam. Man, those guys are so hard to book. Ugh. Gotta head out, take all. Hey, thank you so much for hanging out, buddy. I appreciate you. Now, this thing actually came with some terrain, even though it did not come with instructions to build aforementioned terrain. So we'll see how this all goes. Actually, I'm going to pause here, put that down. With these guys built, I'm just going to scoot them, and I'm going to do just some quick painting stuff here. These guys are fine, except for the bases I have to go around the rims. But the next thing is going to be finishing these boxes. I got a bright warm gray. We're just going to paint on the little lightning bolt. How about anybody else? Anybody else have a topic that they would like to chat about? We are open season right now. Let's see. Do you think GW will remove Bone Splitters from AOS 4.0 and merge them down with War Clans and give them a rework like Feck? I don't understand the question when you brought up Feck. So I don't understand that part. Do I think they'll get rid of Bone Splitters? Probably. Do I think that they've already sized them down? They used to be their own book, so I don't know how you can get any more sized down than that. But Yeah. Oh, Frosted, hope you're feeling better, buddy. Ethan Law, size of war games. I feel like army games just requires so many models, it's overwhelming. Oh, I see what you mean. Give them a box to make them their own thing, like Flit. No, I don't think that's gonna happen. No, I think that ship sailed away with a giant pig. They were like, oh, people. I forgot how much people really like Iron Jaws, I guess. Oh, all we had to do was put out big pigs? It's like people have been screaming about big pigs for years. As far as wargame size, I tend to agree. I think wargames require a lot of models. That's partially why I do like Conquest. So like a basic regiment in Conquest is 12 dudes. You can reinforce it and give them increments of 4 going up from there. But like most of them, if you buy 2 boxes of a single regiment, you have everything that you will ever need for that. Like, including reinforcements, including extra bits to do cool stuff. And I like that. You're right. And then also it ends up being, I think my Wadroon army was something in the vicinity of like 40 models, which is, I think pretty good as far as comparing it to, say, like a 60 model Skaven list, which is like not the greatest Skaven list, right? Because it's 60 models. What's this? I can fart 60 models, right? Basically says every Skaven player. So in terms of model numbers, but I tend to agree with you. My favorite game back in the day, apologize for the blinding white. My favorite game back in the day was War Machine and Hordes. Loved their art style, loved all of it. And I played with generally 35 models. And that's across multiple factions and game systems. So like War Machine is when you have like your sci-fi, steampunk. Hordes is the other arm. They work together like in one tandem system, so people call it War Hordes. But one has monsters, one has machines, and they have some minor rules to separate the two. And across both of them, multiple armies, I had fun every single time, clocking in at about 30 to maybe 40 models on like the very high end for me. So I mean, that was my ideal. So I'd still be playing that game if I thought it would be fun. I don't know how else to word that. I want someone else to buy the intellectual property, or for me to win the Willy Wonka trip to Privateer Press and become the lead over there. That's the dream, because that's the system that got me into the game, and like I want it to do well. Anywho, so yes, game size for me, skirmish games kind of take the cake right now because I feel like they're better at conveying stories than large, clunky armies are. When I play like even just a King of the Hill style version of Necromunda, for example, so we'll stay within the GW sphere, that feels more epic in terms of I can end the game, me and my opponent can chat about it and relay cool events that happened more clearly than if it's the same thing with a big block of Skaven that just sat there and didn't move the entire game of Age of Sigmar. Right? When it's Necromunda, it's the one guy like shooting a wave here and then, and he throws a crack grenade behind him and all these crazy things. But when that same situation is applied to the army, it's fine. Because it doesn't look different, right? I am so sorry. I did not feel that cough coming. English is not my main language. No, and it's no problem. Please don't feel like I was mocking you in any way. I'd love for people to ask questions. I just wanted to make sure I understood it. War Machine was good until Mark III. Yeah, buddy. I feel you there. It was the one army, Crix specifically. That's their undead. If you're not a Warma Horde enthusiast, it's their undead army, and it looks so sick. They have one of the coolest aesthetics of any war game ever, and it's just like, guys, you did the hardest part. You made a cool original thing. I wonder how much that cost. How much would I have to make to go to Seattle and hang out with the Privateer Press crew, all 2 of them left, and be like, hey guys, I want to buy your company. I know it's a lot. It's like a lot of money. This is not child's play. I'm not saying, this is not hyperbole about how devalued they are and it'll be a $10 deal. But I'm curious, something like that. And then could I start a Kickstarter? I'll get them to write it in paper, and then I'll just start a Kickstarter. It's like, hey guys, listen, Doug is here. It'll be all desperate. Like, I'll just be, sorry. Have way too much coffee in my system, and I'll be all greasy just doing live streams for like the whole month. Like, guys, listen, it's Doug here from 2+ Stuff. I have a chance to own Privateer Press, and I'm just going to start throwing random combinations of nouns and Privateer Pressy steampunk things together to see which one of them like gets people to donate, like steampunk crocodiles, steampunk monoliths, gators that are actually shark people, and just start saying random stuff. Oh, thank you all for the kind words, Doug. I do have a brief request of you. Please give me a reason not to buy the Avatara Focus starter set for Conquest. I have a Highborn Centaurs, 6 Avatara already, but no Incarnate Sentinels. I don't know. I mean, if you do... I suppose if you do, like, I tried doing Avatar heavy lists. Now, admittedly, this is like way back in the last edition of the game and should no way be used. I just didn't have enough board presence. And that's when I was trying to do like strictly Avatar stuff. So it sounds like you already have a lot. I don't know. I mean, if you're looking to talk Yada stuff, this is definitely the wrong place to be. So hear me out. Yes, exactly. Yes, it's just a lot of that. So hear me out. Doug, are any of these pre-recorded? You've been streaming for 18 hours just screaming random things. Highly militarized gophers. Squirrels that collect skulls instead of nuts. Yeah, it's me 12 hours into my stream for ideas. What are you going to do as Privateer Press president? I'm going to bring all this back. Bring us back to our fundamentals. Lightning guns and steampunk. And a story that's vaguely about manifest destiny on the half of Sigmar, I guess. I don't know. Have a giant corkboard. You had me at steampunk crocodiles, yeah. I mean, they have steampunk crocodiles, dude. That's not true. They're more like voodoo inspired monster beasts, zombie crocs. But, you know, zombie crocs is its own flavor. My wife has been obsessed with the concept of laser crabs for like 4 years. That's funny. I only have my Crocs left anymore. Oh, but they're so cool, right? I did Crocs back in the day. Because for some reason no one around me wanted to. So it was the only range that was like reliably in stock at my store. Rask is the man. But see, here's my problem, though. It's like, well, what am I going to do? Try and restart a group for Warmahordes around me? It's like the company only incentivizes competitive play, I feel, personally. Or at least they did back when I paid attention. They might have pivoted since then, and I just haven't seen it. But, you know, it's like, it's just... The crowd that I engage best with is not the same crowd that the company is appealing to. In terms of, like, I like narrative play. I like, you know, these kinds of funny, silly rules that they're not meant to be competitive. I like campaign systems, that kind of stuff. And then those things generally don't... I guess they should say they haven't, in a history, been a focus of Privateer Press, so it has less to do with, like, there's nothing wrong with the consumer base. It's just they're there for a different reason. They want something else out of their games. Okay, technically I still have... let's see. What about a Zoanthrope Cyborg faction? You know what? Hell yeah, put it on the board. Overhearse. Oh, man. Also, I want to make something abundantly clear in this chat, just because I just had a thought. I was like, I don't want to give the idea that I'm saying that running Privateer Press is easy, because it wouldn't be. It'd be very hard, and it would take a lot of time. But I just think there's so much stinking potential there that is just not getting tapped. Because we all know the meme of the guy who thinks that they can, you know, every time GW makes a corporate statement, all of our many, many experts on legal, international law, I should say, come out of the woodwork and like, well, they shouldn't be able to do blah, 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 and it's... Silver. Blackwash, here we go. Yeah, I was really hoping when Privateer Press relaunched their last edition or whatever that it was going to be a little bit different. Nah. But life goes on. I know Centaur Avatar aren't good per se, but I love the OG Avatar models. Oh yeah, they're sweet. The Sentinels... I feel like I like what they do, right? They're this incredibly aggressive missile cavalry type thing. You point it a direction and it just crushes whatever it hits or connects with. And I do like that. It just, there are other things that do that as well. And so when you start competing for a spot, that's when tough choices have to be made. Executive calls. Okay, I got all these boys drying. That's drying. They're solidifying. Really do like the stone golem. Oh man, so many of their miniatures are my fave. Here's my little Star Wars Legion droids. I actually I painted a lot of them up as like junk bots, so like this guy has different colored legs or whatever. But I think with all of that, friends, I think I'm going to call it a day. We did some good hobby progress today. We got my crates done, my mutants built, and my objective markers for Wasteland Warfare, like 99%. I'm just going to do a quick dry brush on the steel bits that I just washed, just because I don't want to do much to them. The point is that they're there for the yellow to pop. I don't want to make the base pop either. So anyway, we're all set. I'm going to be doing battle reports hopefully this coming week. And I'm excited to jump into it, so I hope you're excited to join me, and I will hang out with you then.